My name's Colonel Jeff Pixley. I'm the commander of basic military training. Thank you for joining the United States Air Force. Thank you for raising your hand and promising to give of yourself, to sacrifice, to do something that most Americans never do. You probably want to know how to be successful in basic military training. Fight for yourself. Don't give up on yourself. And when you're about to, work with each other. Lean on each other, because you'll be successful when you're a team.
Remember why you are here. Remember those people that came before you. Everything that you do needs to come with a passion and a vigor that is unmatched.
When you leave basic military training, you're going to understand how to wear the uniform. You're going to understand what it is to live by the core values, and you're going to know the value of your teammates. If you live up to my expectations, you'll be here 7 weeks from today, and you'll be about to graduate.
At this time, we'd like to take a moment to inform you of the specific flight locations on the parade field, as viewed from the bleachers from your left to your right. Flight 049, led by Technical Sergeant Matthew Giroux. Flight 050, led by Technical Sergeant Dale Bonnell. Flight 051, led by Technical Sergeant Tim Ashley. Flight 052, led by Technical Sergeant Michael Ang. Flight 053, led by Technical Sergeant Tony Segura. Flight 054, led by Technical Sergeant Robert Clark. Flight 055, led by Technical Sergeant Richard Castilleja. In the center of the parade field is the Color Guard, led by Technical Sergeant Andre Williams. The flights selected to carry our national, state, and territorial flags are flights 059 and 060, led by Technical Sergeant Nigel Cotton. Flight 056, led by Technical Sergeant Allison Ledford. Flight 057, led by Technical Sergeant Brian Hill. Flight 058, led by Master Sergeant Jasmine Allen. PT and Academic Excellence Flight, Flight 061, led by Technical Sergeant Alicia Williams. Flight 062, led by Technical Sergeant Ijalon Kimbrough. Flight 063, led by Sergeant Priscilla Mariano. Flight 064, led by Technical Sergeant Louis Perry. A Squadron Commander, led by Technical Sergeant Allison Terrell. Detachment 1 Staff, led by Technical Sergeant Durand Talley. At this time, please find a place to sit. Thank you and enjoy today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of our official party. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the invocation given by Chaplain Jackson.
If you're so willing, please join me in a word of prayer. Sovereign and awesome God, As we gather today in celebration of each of these airmen and guardians, they have made it, we see it, and we thank you for it. In the spirit of celebration, may each of these new airmen and guardians step into their new dawn with strength, with courage, with an attitude of gratitude and the spirit of burning determination. As they have crossed from student to practitioner, may the lessons they have learned in this season carry them on in their next season. Nothing was wasted, everything for a purpose. To you be all honor, glory, and praise forever. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's Basic Military Training Graduation Ceremony. We would like to introduce our distinguished guests, beginning with the host for today's ceremony, the Commander, Air Force Basic Military Training, Colonel Jeff Pixley, accompanied by his wife, Andrea. The Acting Senior Enlisted Leader, Air Force Basic Military Training, Chief Master Sergeant Jared Roman, accompanied by his wife, Shannon. The Reviewing Official, the Commander, 37th Training Wing, Colonel Lauren Courchain. Our guest speaker, representing the 11th Congressional District of Texas, the Honorable August Pfluger. Additionally, Representative Pfluger serves as a colonel in the United States Air Force Reserves. From the Graduating Squadron, the Commander, 326 Training Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Nicholas Smith. The Senior Enlisted Leader, 326 Training Squadron, Chief Master Sergeant Antrinia Cardona. The Commander, 1st Delta Operations Squadron, Detachment 1, Major Clinton Emery. The Senior Enlisted Leader, 1st Delta Operations Squadron, Detachment 1. Senior Master Sergeant Anthony Ray Chua, accompanied by his wife, Christine. Also in attendance with us today, the Vice Commander, 37th Training Wing, Colonel John Odell III, accompanied by his wife, Josefina. Ladies and gentlemen, rendering a flying salute to our graduated airmen are two T-38s, call sign Judge 1 and Judge 2. Judge 1 is flown by First Lieutenant Drake Stalin Delio. Lieutenant Delio is a 2011 BMT graduate, and his brother-in-law, Airman Derek Vredenberg, is graduating today from Flight 050. Judge 2 is flown by First Lieutenant Cole Risa Schwegel. These aircraft are from the 2nd Flying Training Squadron, 325th Fighter Wing, Tyndall Air Force Base, Florida. Although time does not permit us to introduce all of our distinguished guests, the 737 Training Group is proud to welcome each of you. We hope you enjoy today's ceremony. Our Commander of Airmen is Technical Sergeant Caitlin Bork. Colonel Courchain will review today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated. Over the last 7.5 weeks, the men and women before you have transformed from civilians into motivated, disciplined warriors with a foundation to serve in the most powerful military the world has ever known. Once they leave basic military training, they will continue on to technical training to learn the skills needed to perform in one of 118 specialties. They will then move on to serve at one of 84 installations around the globe, or work directly with our sister services. As they move on to technical training, they will continue to focus on adapting to military requirements, achieving occupational proficiency, and learning how to be highly productive members of the armed forces. These men and women will prepare for increased responsibilities and must ensure they are trained, qualified, and ready to deploy and operate in an expeditionary environment. These graduates are the future of our national defense and will pave the way for generations to follow. 737th Training Group, United States Air Force, Joint Base San Antonio-Lackland, Texas. Subject, Commander's Excellence. The Commander's Excellence Streamer is awarded to Flight 055 for their significant accomplishments demonstrating teamwork, excellence, and esprit de corps during the period of 14 November 2022 to 30 December 2022. Signed, Jeffrey Pixley, Colonel, United States Air Force. The Commander's Excellence Flight was led by Technical Sergeant Israel McDowell and Technical Sergeant Richard Casieja. Of the hundreds of thousands of American citizens that enter the workforce each year, less than 1% have joined the ranks of the United States military. The graduates before you have reached a milestone in their military journey and will require your continued support to assist them in their future endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates passing in review today represent a portion of the 35,000 men and women who will complete basic military training this year. The 737 Training Group provides all recruits the essential military training to become motivated members of the world's greatest Air Force. The military training instructors are responsible for the indoctrination, development, and discipline of the airmen and guardians. They have dedicated endless hours to ensure all training objectives are met. Today's graduates have proven through academic studies, military training, physical training, and the development of teamwork that they are ready to take their place in the United States Armed Forces. As our graduates turn left onto the bomb run to pass and review, they will march over the Enlisted Heroes Walk. The men and women recognized on the pavers have been awarded our nation's highest honors, representing heroic and unselfish actions as members of the United States military in armed conflict. Their decorations include 9 Medals of Honor, 23 Air Force Crosses, and 162 Silver Stars, awarded for bravery during encounters with hostile enemy combatants. These enlisted heroes serve to inspire all service members to execute their duties courageously and with honor in their service to this great nation. We would like to direct your attention to our national, state, and territorial flags. As these flags pass in review, please stand and render the appropriate courtesies for our national flag. As a reminder, military members and veterans in uniform will stand at attention and render a salute. We ask that our civilian guests stand and place their right hand over their heart. Veterans and military members not in uniform may either render a salute or place their right hand over their heart. Once the flags have passed, please be courteous of others and be seated in order to allow all our guests the opportunity to view the flights as they pass in review. Now passing in review, the Commander of Airmen, Technical Sergeant Caitlin Bork, Military Training Instructor, hometown, Browns Mills, New Jersey. The A Squadron Staff, led by Technical Sergeant Allison Terrell, Military Training Instructor, hometown, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Flight 049, led by Technical Sergeant Matthew Giroux, Military Training Instructor, hometown, Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Flight 050, led by Technical Sergeant Dale Bonnell, Military Training Instructor, trainer, hometown, Bowling Green, Kentucky. Flight 051, led by Technical Sergeant Tim Ashley, Military Training Instructor, trainer, hometown, Allenswoods, Pennsylvania. Flight 052, led by Technical Sergeant Michael Ang, Military Training Instructor, hometown, Long Beach, California. Flight 053, led by Technical Sergeant Tony Segura, Military Training Instructor, hometown, San Diego, California. Flight 054, led by Technical Sergeant Robert Clark, Military Training Instructor, hometown, Franklin, Tennessee. Commander's Excellent Flight, Flight 055, led by Technical Sergeant Richard Castilleja, military training instructor, hometown, New Braunfels, Texas. The Color Guard, led by Technical Sergeant Andre Williams, master military training instructor, hometown, Bladenboro, North Carolina. The flights selected to carry our national, state, and territorial flags. Flights 059 and 060, led by Technical Sergeant Nigel Cotton, military training instructor trainer, hometown, Biloxi, Mississippi. Flight 056, led by Technical Sergeant Allison Ledford, military training instructor, hometown, Olympia, Washington. Flight 057, led by Technical Sergeant Brian Hill, military training instructor, hometown, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Flight 058, led by Master Sergeant Jasmine Allen, master military training instructor, hometown, Toledo, Ohio. PT and Academic Excellence Flight, Flight 061, led by Technical Sergeant Alicia Williams, military training instructor trainer, hometown, Virginia Beach, Virginia. Flight 062, led by Technical Sergeant Ijalon Kimbrough, military training instructor, hometown, Norfolk, Virginia. The Detachment 1 staff, led by Technical Sergeant Durand Talley, military training instructor, hometown, Detroit, Michigan. Flight 063, led by Sergeant Crisella Mariano, military training instructor, hometown, San Jose, California. Flight 064, led by Technical Sergeant Louis Perry, military training instructor, hometown, Clarksville, Tennessee. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing and singing of the Air Force and Space Force songs. Thank you. You may be seated. Musical support for this morning's ceremony has been provided by trainees from the 320th Training Squadron, performing under the direction of Master Sergeant Nathan Heald, military training instructor, hometown, Yorba Linda, California. These individuals have been hand-selected to perform for today's ceremony. In addition to completing all basic training syllabus and training requirements, Drum and Bugle Corps members commit additional training hours for practice throughout their weeks of training. Their extra efforts and commitment demonstrate teamwork and the Air Force core value, service before self. With each Drum and Bugle Corps performance, they honor the long-standing tradition of live music at formal military ceremonies. We would like to take a moment to congratulate all of our honor graduates as well as their families. Basic military training honor graduates distinguish themselves by being ranked in the top 10% of all graduates in their class. The exceptional personal dedication, integrity, service before self, and sustained excellence they displayed throughout basic military training earned them this outstanding distinction. As the flights march forward for the oath of enlistment, we would like to thank all of the families and friends who are here in support of those graduating today. Your words of encouragement helped motivate these graduates through 7.5 weeks of basic military training. On behalf of the United States military and basic military training, we extend our thanks to the many families and friends of America for your support of our mission and the greatest air and space power the world has ever known. Ladies and gentlemen, Congressman Pfluger will now come forward and address our graduating class.
8 weeks ago, you came here from all over the country. You came here as brothers and sisters, as sons and daughters, as individuals. You came here with different experiences. You came here with different ideas. But you all came here with the idea to serve. For the family members that are in the stands, for the friends that are here, these men and women are now different people. They're not individuals. They're teammates. They're warriors. They now know what it means to go through something incredibly challenging and incredibly hard. Colonel Corshane, Colonel Pixley, Chief Roman, thank you for inviting me to speak here today. For the family members that are here, these individuals that came to Lackland Air Force Base, members of the Bulldogs, are now about to embark on one of the most important journeys that this country could have asked them to do. You don't get here alone. We need help. And I'd encourage every single one of you, as you graduate today, to look into the stands, to look at your family members, your moms and your dads, your brothers and your sisters, your grandparents, and your friends. And as you celebrate today, I'd encourage you to thank you. To the family members in the crowd, about 25 years ago, I went through basic training. And after it was done, I realized that getting to that point took a lot of encouragement. It took a lot of help to get to the point where we could go through something tough. Those tough times that happened the 8 weeks that you're about to hear about, the experiences that these men and women have overcome, it's because of your encouragement. It's because of your words of encouragement, your prayers, your support. It's the upbringing that you provided these men and women, that now they come out as warriors, that they've made it through to this point in time, probably the most important and challenging event that they've gone through. Thank you for raising young men and women who want to serve. And I want to ask all of you, I know it's a little bit weird, but let's give yourself a round of applause for everything that you've done for these men and women. The journey is just beginning, and they're going to continue to need your support. Tomorrow, they're going to start their technical training as members of the greatest air and space force that the world has ever known, as airmen and as guardians, charged with keeping our country safe. And they're going to need your continued support. For the last 8 weeks, however, they've been challenged. They've been challenged physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. They've been challenged by the finest military training instructors on the planet. Now, some of the stories you may not appreciate, they may not appreciate just yet, but I can promise you that in a couple of years, they're going to reach back and they're going to remember those military training instructors. Just before the ceremony, I was talking with a technical sergeant from Maine, and I said, "Are you feared?" And she said, "Yeah, I think so." And it's because they transform your sons and daughters, your brothers and sisters, your friends right here. They transform them from individuals into teammates. They transform them from civilians into leaders. They transform them from people who were in school or just graduating high school or in the workforce into warriors. And for that, please help me with a huge round of applause for the best military training instructors in the world. I don't know about y'all, but when I walk by an MTI, I straighten up a little bit. I know that these men and women right here that are graduating today definitely do. But I straighten up just a little bit because I'm kind of worried about having to do some push-ups if I don't. How cool is it that you're looking at warriors? You're looking at airmen and guardians that are going to be going into every corner of the world in just a few months, keeping our country safe. Let's think back 80 years ago, April 18th, 1942, when men and women just like this were charged with coming up with a game plan to react to Pearl Harbor. Jimmy Doolittle took 80 airmen, officer and enlisted, in 16 B-25s on a mission that everybody said was impossible, on a mission that included men and women just like these that are graduating today from the Bulldogs. Jimmy Doolittle took those airmen, left the USS Hornet hundreds of miles early, flew to mainland Japan, and struck Tokyo for the horrendous damage that had been caused to our country, on our homeland, on our soil, to show that air power and that the United States would defend itself against an enemy who was vicious. It's airmen and guardians that you're looking at here that will join that legacy. I'd like to address the graduates. Today is a momentous day. You're joining the legacy of Jimmy Doolittle. You're joining the legacy of Robin Olds. You're joining the legacy of Eddie Rickenbacker. you join the legacy of dozens of people who have been awarded the Medal of Honor, the Silver Star, the Air Force Cross, and so many other awards as you marched on this bomb run. Airmen, Guardians, we are facing a threat environment today that I believe is the most complex and serious threat environment that the world has ever known. In 2016 and 2017, I commanded hundreds of airmen in the Middle East facing the threat of ISIS. And it was airmen and Guardians just like you that helped defeat that threat. As we fast forward 5 years later, 6 years later, the threat environment that we are facing right now not only includes violent extremism in the Middle East, but it also includes a great power competition with the rising China, an invasion of a sovereign country in Europe, Ukraine, that was brutally invaded by Russia. We have a cyber threat where our homeland on a daily basis is being poked and prodded and attacked. If you think back to the Colonial Pipeline that was attacked just months ago, where half of our East Coast gasoline supply was shut off by a cyber attack. We have a country in Iran that wants nothing more than to attack U.S. personnel, not only military, but also civilian. And they've shown the will to do that, and the ability to do that. I want to thank each and every one of you. As we enter this threat environment, you didn't have to be here, but you stood up, and in moments you'll take the oath. You've answered the nation's call, just like Jimmy Doolittle and the 80 airmen answered a nation's call. You have stood up. You have placed yourself here. I want to speak on behalf of the United States Congress and tell you thank you from a grateful nation. It was already mentioned, but less than 1% of our country will stand in the shoes that you are currently standing in, will stand on a parade field that you're currently standing on to answer our nation's call to keep us safe. I want to thank you for your service and your dedication. I want to thank you for your abilities. Whether you're going out to be an intelligence professional, whether you're going to be a maintenance professional, whether you're going to be in charge of logistics, whether you're going to be in a medical field or any other field, thank you. Up until now, these 8 weeks have probably been the hardest and most challenging time of your life. But it's preparing you. These MTIs and the leadership here have prepared you to dig deep. Years from now, you're going to look back at some point, at some event, at some moment in time during these 8 weeks when it was hard, but you persevered and you made it through. And you're going to look back as you're defending our nation in every corner of this earth. You're going to look back on this time and you're going to be grateful that you went through something hard because it prepared you for what you're about to do. It prepared you to go out and to be a warrior, to be a member of a team that keeps our nation safe. Because when everyone else is sleeping, you're not. You're vigilant and you're ready. And so from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of the U.S. Congress, I want to say thank you for answering our nation's call, for standing up and being willing to serve. And I just have one last question for you. Are you ready to join the world's greatest air and space force? Let's give them a round of applause.
Instructors, place your flights at attention. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Colonel Courchain will now administer the oath of enlistment.
Airmen, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm. Do solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States. And I will obey the orders of the President of the United States. And the orders of the officers appointed over me. And the orders of the officers appointed over me. According to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. According to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. So help me God. Congratulations. Welcome to the Air Force.
Thank you, Colonel Courchain. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing while our graduates recite the Airman's Creed and for the departure of the official party. I am an American airman.
I am a warrior.